Hello and welcome to the Mothering Mother Kitchen, where we're going to talk a little bit about microwaving. We are going to put with the blog some information on why microwaving is not a good thing for your food or for you. So I want to just give you some ideas of how to have a kitchen without a microwave. It's a really great experience because you start to get more creative. Again, we lived forever without a microwave. We can do it now. So we've sort of thought out what are the things that most people use a microwave for. I think the first one is melting. Melting butter of some sort. So I've got here, butter. In the jar I've got the ghee butter. And you just take that and I put it in one of these little dishes. It's a Pyrex dish. So no, it really shouldn't have a flame on it, but if you put it at a low flame, it will melt your butter. And when it starts to get hot and starts to want to splat, just turn it off and let it finish melting and stir it a little bit with the knife. Now alternatively, if you have a stovetop where you're concerned about doing this on it, you can always use something like this, which is a heat disperser, and it gives a little buffer between the direct heat of your element and your dish and helps to regulate the heat a little more. Other than that, while the butter's melting, you can always just invest in one of these little things and melt your butter in there and then pour it wherever you need it. So while that is melting, I'm going to also talk about another way that I think we use a microwave a lot, which is to defrost things. So what I have here are some jars from the freezer. This one is some beans that I've cooked and then frozen. Those are kidney beans. And this is vegetable stock. And so I call this my own personal microwave experience. So I get out a pot and I put a little bit of water in it. Okay, just a little bit at the bottom, so that you can now turn on the heat and warm that just on low. And yes, you can take this glass jar with your stock or your beans or whatever, you turn it upside down in here, and on a low heat you let it start to thaw. I prefer not to put a lid over it because I don't want the heat in there to get so high that the glass might crack. But as this thaws, just occasionally lift up the glass and some of that liquid will run out again, and then it'll keep thawing it, and eventually everything will come out. And that's the same for your beans too. It might take about 15 minutes on a low simmer, but this way you've got it done. The other thing I've sometimes done with a vegetable stock is I'll actually put it right in the soup while I'm making it. So if I've browned the onions and done all of those things, added the vegetables, I put some water in, and then I turn my stock in right upside down on a low heat and let the stock just thaw right in there. Because, the reality is lots of times I don't know what I'm going to make for dinner until the last minute, and this way I've got the frozen vegetable stock on hand and I can thaw it without needing to use a microwave. Now, I'm going to move that for a sec, turn on the back element, and show here this butter that has melted. It's the ghee butter. Look how beautiful it is. I'm going to turn the heat off now because the butter has really finished, almost completely finished melting. You see the beauty of that ghee butter also. It's so pure. It's taken out all of the milk solids. So it's a much more refined oil for you to be putting into the body. But again, here's how you've melted it without using a microwave. And yes, you've dirtied this little dish, but you were going to dirty a dish in the microwave anyway. So the next thing that we think people use a microwave for is reheating food. And I love taking just a regular dish like this, something that has a larger surface area on the bottom, and again I put in just the weest smidge of water, and then you put your food to reheat on top. Low, low, low heat. Again, use that heat disperser if you need to. Put the lid on. That's a must. On this one, it's a must. And you let that food reheat at a very, very low heat, and it will be really warmed through. You know when you have something from a microwave and it has like a hot spot and then a cold spot? That won't happen when you warm something on the stovetop. So give that a try. And then the next big thing that people use microwaves for, of course, is popcorn. Once you have popcorn from an air popper, you will not go back. Melt your butter like this with ease on the stovetop. Invest in a popcorn popper, and then you'll find your savings in terms of buying bulk popcorn. I got double this for $7. You could never get away with that much from a packaged popcorn that has all those awful fats and the wasted packaging and the salt that you don't know the source of. You can use your own salts, and here, you can use your good sea salts, your own butters if you choose butter, organic butters or ghee butters. Maybe you want to put flax oil on yours. But you can choose all this and not have the excess waste either to you in calories or to the earth in packaging. And then you can see here that this is starting to thaw now. The water is getting hot, and when I lift it up and look inside, the stock is starting to melt and disappear into the pan. And I can smell it. It's wonderful vegetable stock. I hope that this helps you to make a choice to use your stovetop versus your microwave in the future, and let us know how it goes. We love to hear from you. Thank you. Thank you.